Radhamadava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radhamadava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radhamadava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarashata Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Krantara Shimam Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shishiguru and Shiguranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summon Bonum, Chapter 77, Lord Krishna slays the demon Shalva, texts 11 through 14. Ityuktaschadoyam asa Ratan Asthajadaruka Vishantandadrishu Sarve Swepare Charunaju Swepare Charunanujam Ityuktaschadoyam Shasha Ratan Asthajadaruka Vishantandadrishu Sarve Swepare Charunanujam Ityuktaschodayam Asha Rathan Asthajadaruka Vishantandadrishu Sarve Swepare charunanujam. Please chant. Ityuktascha doyan asha. Vratham astha yadaruka. Vishantanda drishu sarve. Swepare charunanujam. Ityuktaschodayan astha yadaruka. Vishantanda drishu sarve. Swapare charunanujam. Ityuktaschodayan asha. Rathan astha yadaruka. Vishantanda drishu sarve. Swepare charunanujam. Itistakshaduyam asha. Rathan asta jadaruka. Vishantanda drishu sarve. Swepare charunanujam. Ityuktaschodayam asha. Ratham astha jadaruka. Vishantanda drishu sarve. Swepare charunanujam. Iti. Thus. Uktaha. To. Chodajam asha. He drove forward. Ratham. The chariot. Asthaya. Taking control of it. Darukaha. Daruka. Vishantam. Entering. Dadrishuhu. So. Sarve. Everyone. Swe. His own men. Pare. The opposite party. Cha. Also. Aruna Anujam. The younger brother of Aruna. Garuda, the Lord on Lord Krishna's flag. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those ordered Dharuka took command of the Lord's chariot and drove forth. As the chariot entered the battlefield, everyone there, both friend and foe, caught sight of the emblem of Garuda. Text number 12. Salvascha Krishnan alokya hatapraja baleshwara praharat Krishna sutaja shaktim bhima rabam ride. Translation: When Shalva, the master of a decimated army, saw Lord Krishna approaching, he hurled his spear at the Lord's charioteer. The spear roared frighteningly as he flew across the battlefield. Text number 13. Tan apatantimna bashi maholkam ivaram hasa Vashajam Tindisha Shauri Sajakai Shatadachinat. Translation: Shalva's hurling spear lit up the whole sky like a mighty meteor, but Lord Sauri tore the great weapon into hundreds of pieces with his arrows. Text number 14. Tanchasoda Sabir Vidva Banai Shauban Chake Brahmat Abhidyakchara Sandodhai Kansurya Ivarasmibhi. Translation: Lord Krishna then pierced Shalva with 16 arrows and struck the Shalva airship with a deluge of arrows as it darted about the sky. Firing his arrows, the Lord appeared like the sun floating the heavens with his rays. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Romapada Swami Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Shatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. I'm going to read the purport on these verses by two of our great acharyas, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami. So text number 11. This one, the translation again, thus ordered Daruka took command of the Lord's chariot and drove forth. As the chariot entered the battlefield, everyone there, both friend and foe, caught sight of the emblem of Garuda. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. Both eyes saw Garuda, Aruna Anujam, on the flag of his chariot, and Srila Jiva Goswami. Everyone saw the chariot with the Garuda emblem enter the battle. So it's significant that pointed out that, remember, this is huge battle is happening, and it's going on for 20 something days, I think 21 days, remember. Huge, and there's huge destruction too. So there was a lot of destruction. There was a lot of damage that was happening to the city of Dwarka, and all the mighty heroes of the Yadus, headed by Pradumnya, were fighting this powerful demon Shalva with this amazing sort of weapon that it was like a aircraft. You can almost imagine. I guess I have to admit that I saw Star Wars and I'm a fan. So there's supposed to be this big starship that was called, I can't remember how it was called, but it was the Death Star, the Death Star. So this huge, massive warship that was able to destroy planets. So in this case, he has this massive warship flying in the sky. It is explained that with mystic powers, he was able to fly very swiftly, like the wind, and and would hold all kinds of weapons, and very unusual weapons too, from stones to tree trunks to thunders to hail to all kinds of things. And on the top of that, it will be the regular destructive weapons and astras. So it was causing great havoc. So it was this great, great battlefield. Now Krishna was not present, and Krishna is the big, big hero. And in fact, Shalva's attacking um, Dwarka was because of his hate, hate, hated, hatred towards Krishna. But Krishna was not there. Krishna was in Hastinapur. So we just heard that Krishna in Hastinapur, he just was thinking. Actually, after the killing of Shishupal, the friends of Shishupal will attack likely Dwarka. So he have to return immediately. So as he entered the battlefield, then that is the big thing. And that's why everybody saw that Krishna has entered the battlefield. And they could recognize it was Krishna because they saw the chariot with the emblem of Garuda. So obviously, the friends or the devotees, the Yadus or the Yadavas, they became very, very happy and very um, enthusiastic when they saw Krishna's Garuda's flag. And the enemies became very fearful. Fearful, but Shalva, it is explained in the next one, his hatred got arise. So in the next verse, we have a comment by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. So the verse says that when Shalva, the master of a decimated army, so remember his army was completely destroyed by the Yadava heroes, including the big, powerful commander, general commander, who was killed by Pradumya, but also Shalva and the other heroes, they destroy the army. But Shalva, that was he's so powerful that you couldn't, the battle was not finished. Shalva can create great, great havoc. Anyway, so Shalva, the master of a decimated army, saw Lord Krishna approaching, and then his hate. He hurled a spear, powerful weapon. Shalva, whose generals were almost dead, saw Krishna. And Srila Jiva Goswami comments, though he was the lord of a decimated army, Shalva in the battlefield hurled a spear in order to strike Krishna. There's also commentary by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Though the Yadus were filled with bliss on seeing the Garuda flag, Shalva was not. He was filled with anger because of his evil nature. When he saw Krishna, who had pulled out the life of his friend Shishupal, he threw his spear through, though his army has been decimated. So one may think, that when all your resources are finished, well, the clever thing to do is to surrender. You have been defeated. But this guy, you can see that in general, demoniac people who are full of hatred and full of um, um, vindictiveness, they can see. It doesn't. Common sense doesn't come. So even if everything becomes clear that you're defeated, you won't accept. You won't step. You won't back down. So that shows that when you are highly demoniac, or you have these demoniac tendencies, pride is so thick that you won't ever accept that your position is defeated. So this is the case with Shalva. So instead of surrendering or instead of accepting defeat, he continues the fight and he throws this powerful weapon to kill Krishna. When he saw Krishna, yes. So then the next one, Shalva's hurling spear lit up the whole sky like a mighty meteor. The Lord Sori tore the great weapon into hundreds of pieces with arrows. Srila Jiva Goswami comments, Krishna destroyed the spear while it was in the sky. And Srila Sanatana Goswami comments, the spear was like a meteor because of its speed and lighting up all directions. Or, Krishna worked the spear in the sky like a meteor, since he was directly the Lord, appearing in Shura's dynasty to reveal his unlimited powers. So this is something that we are experiencing this narration. Krishna, he is described as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses all six opulence in an unlimited manner. So he manifests these six opulence unlimitedly. He possesses everything in full. And these six opulence are strength that we see in here, wisdom, fame, wealth, renunciation, and beauty. So we're seeing here Krishna displaying his opulence of strength. There's a very fascinating etymology of words. In the English vocabulary, when you want to say that someone possesses all the opulence or the supreme opulence, you call it omnipotence, right? Omnipotence. Omnipotent. And it's explained that this om comes from the om, the omkara. So omnipotence refers to God. Omnipotence refers to God. Scholars, Vedic scholars analyze it like that. So Krishna is displaying this great opulence of power. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting to hear Krishna displaying his heroic feats. So here, this powerful weapon that is like a meteor, and when you see a meteor, it's very frightening because it's this fiery thing just coming at the planet, very powerful. Now this weapon is flying and lighting the whole sky, and there's Krishna destroyed with one arrow. And then shoots arrows at Shalva, and then subsequently shoots arrows, this is the next verse, at the flying aircraft that Shalva had, a Shauba aircraft. So Krishna is displaying this magnificent display of opulence. And One may question, that, well, what is the need of all that? If Krishna is omnipotent, why not go like this and then poof, all these demons just like vanish? He can do like this. If he's omnipotent, he doesn't need to do the throwing an arrow. He can just go like, or I don't know, and the whole thing just vanished, right? He has that omnipotent. He have that unlimited power. So what is a little weapon being thrown and the unlimited possessor of power? It's nothing. So what is the need for that? What is the need for Krishna actually doing anything? Just by his desire, automatically, these things can take place. In general, that is some conception that is there about God. That he doesn't, he just go creation, then it happens, and then he doesn't need to worry anymore about that. There's no need. Things can happen in itself, you know. And in one sense, because he is so powerful that these creations are self-sufficient, even within the Vedic perspective, Om Purnam and Apurnam Idam, that everything that manifests from him is perfect and complete, is a complete thing that is perfectly functional on its own, complete. So when it's complete, you don't need to worry about it. It's automatically self-managed. So what is the need of Krishna to do these things? That's an important question to understand. And it's very important for us to understand. Why does Krishna come to this world to perform all these activities, all these pastimes? Well, Krishna gives us a hint in the Bhagavad Gita. Why it's so important? He says, if we're able to understand in truth these pastimes or these divine activities, as well as the divine nature of his appearance in this world, if we understand the essence of Krishna, why does he come? Why does he come to the world and his activities in the world? And then we understand it in truth, then we are able or qualified to go back home, back to Godhead, and never come back to the material world. Jamma karma chamedivyan evan yoveti tattvataha. So the key of understanding, so we just say how important for us is to understand Krishna's performing these activities and Krishna coming to this world to perform these activities. So what is it? What is the purpose of Krishna? Why does he do that? Well, he also said in that same chapter, the verse before, he comes mainly, there are several things that he does. He established the principles of religion to the world. So he maintains the principles of religions, maintain order in the world. Is what keep is the laws that govern the universe. It maintains a structure, it maintains order. So the people of the world can actually have a system in which you can, function and evolve and raise your consciousness. So these principles of religions are very important. So every time there's a compromise in the principles of religion that is caused by these demoniac tendencies, then he comes to reestablish it. So how he does that? Well, first of all, he takes care of the disturbing elements, which are demons. So, Paritranayas, what is it? Vinashaya Chajuskritam. He eliminates the demoniac elements that creates a disturbance. But the main thing is this Paritranaya Sadhana. That he comes to give pleasure to the devotees. He comes to protect the devotees. Now, for the conditioned souls, because at the end, every conditioned soul is a devotee of Krishna. We all connected to Krishna. Krishna explains that in the Bhagavad Gita. Every one of us, every jiva, jiva bhuta shanatanam, we're eternally his parts and parcel. We're eternally connected to Krishna, and therefore that connection, in essence, is a loving connection with Krishna. We as his parts, we have this, the essence of our existence is to serve Krishna in a loving, devotional mood. And this is our supreme essence. Yato bhaktir adokshaye. That we serve, we have that natural, loving, devotional connection with Krishna in service. So every living entity is like that, but conditioned by material energy, we forget. We enter into this illusion, the world of Maya. So Maya covers that, and we are not conscious of an eternal relationship with Krishna. So Krishna performed these pastimes in which he protects his devotees, he connects with the devotees, he serves his devotees, and then for us, the conditioned souls, then we become witness, and just by seeing that, we become attracted. So the importance, so Krishna is performing this pastime to attract our hearts. And indeed, if you have to understand, okay, here's this amazing personality that is displaying all this opulence in an unlimited manner. He's the greatest hero. It's like, when he enters the battlefield and he displays this, powerful feat of heroic feats, you become very attractive. Won't you want to be protected by this great hero? And he's so beautiful, and everything is so graceful, and everything is just perfect. So we become attracted. We become attracted to his powers. We become attracted to his beauty. We become attracted to his wealth. The description of the city of Dwarka is, magnificent. We become attracted to his fame. We become attracted to his wisdom. When we hear the Bhagavad Gita, when we hear the Uddhava Gita, Krishna's wisdom is just mesmerizing. And then we become attracted to his renunciation. Although he's capable the place where he is most happy, in order to perform the duties of protecting the world and reestablishing the principles of religion, he goes away from that place of perfect happiness for him, Vrindavan, his renunciation. So Krishna's opulences, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's character, when we become, when we, by the process of hearing about those pastimes, we naturally become attractive. So that is why Krishna performed his lila. That's what is so important to hear about his pastime, because then we can understand this Jamma Karma Chamedevyam. We can understand this. There is something very beautiful that is commented by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur of the importance of hearing about Krishna's divine characteristics. And the fact is that when we hear about these things, the main highlight of Krishna's pastime is not just the act of him fighting this demon, but is how much he cared and the relationship with his devotees. You know, Krishna, you see, the narration is that immediately as he arrived to Dwarka, he makes arrangement to protect his dear devotees. He makes arrangements, you know, Balaram, you go and protect here, make sure that Rukmini and everybody, all the queens are safe, you know. So to hear about Krishna's loving devotion to his devotees is something that is extremely touching. And in one sense, our Vaishnavacharyas describe that as the greatest opulence of Krishna, the greatest quality of Krishna. Krishna loving devotion to his devotees, which is quite something. You know, he is known as the Visaya of the object of love, and the devotees called the Ashraya, the how you say, the reservoir of love. So the devotees give the love to Krishna, and Krishna is the object. But from Krishna's perspective, he is the devotee of his devotee. He is completely dedicated to his devotees, to serve his devotees. And that is the most amazing quality of Krishna. And all his pastimes are completely manifesting this most beautiful opulence. And when the devotees realize that, they become overwhelmed by that. You know, here is Krishna, and he's doing that for me. So they become overwhelmed by prema, by love. It increases the love of the devotees just by seeing Krishna's dedication. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says about this. For that, hearing about Krishna's divine characteristics, activities, and his sweet relationship with the devotees is essential. Lila, or Krishna's pastimes, is defined by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as that which nourishes, so listen to this, that which nourishes and protects us, and then gives us an intense desire to attain Krishna. When we're fully nourished with Krishna consciousness, we do not feel the need to go to Maya in search of false shelter. Krishna affords us with the best protection. So, as a result of hearing again and again about Krishna, an intense desire to attain Him is installed in our heart. That is the potency of Krishna Lila. It works for sure. So, that's why we do this. That's why we sit down every morning and listen to the Bhagavatam. We're listening to Krishna's Lila, and it just touches our heart. And when we start to understand and see how wonderful of a master Krishna is, and how loving He is, and how caring He is, and He can care for me too, like that. So it's and then when we see how He does with, when we hear how He does with all kinds of um, devotees in all different levels, how He extends Himself and protect them and reciprocate with them, with their devotion and their love. Um, there are several stories that highlight that particular feature when the devotees think about this feature of Krishna, devotion to his devotees. How much he wants to serve his devotees, to reciprocate, to do whatever it takes to reciprocate with the love of the devotees by doing, by him, acting uh, to do this, to reciprocate. One beautiful passage in the Bhagavatam, we're going back, to uh, Krishna killing Agasura. And after narrating the killing of Agasura, then Srila Sukadev Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit that, Krishna killed Agasura. But it happens that after 1 year was that the cowherd boys came and told about the killing of Agasura to the Brijavasis. Usually, with the killings of demons, the cowherd boys will come back in the late afternoon back to the Vrindavan, and they come, and tells everybody, what Krishna did? He just killed this huge demon, and they're all excited telling about Krishna's pastime. But this particular Agasura, the cowherd boys told about the killing of this demon only after 1 year. So naturally, Maharaj Parikshit asked, "Can my dear Guru Maharaj Srila Sukadev Goswami, can you explain how does it happen? How is that this particular thing happens? That the cowherd boys waited a year to tell the story." And then Srila Sukadev Goswami, as he's going to start to answer, he just passed out. Now, everybody was concerned. I mean, Maharaj Parikshit was concerned. Everybody was concerned. So, in the assembly, hearing also Sukadev Goswami instructing Maharaj Parikshit, you remember there was, all these great personalities like Vyasadev, Narada Muni, they were present. And they started to chant the holy names. And then Maharaj Srila Sukadev Goswami regained consciousness. And then he explained that why he entered into this unconscious mode, why he lost consciousness, was because he entered into ecstasy, just simply, and his heart was overwhelmed because he remembered the pastime of the Brahma Vimohan Lila. And in that pastime, the result of that pastime was that Krishna became, as all the cowherd boys and the calf were taken away, and they, in a span of 1 year, he extended himself into each cowherd boy to actually fulfill the desire of the Brijavasis to have Krishna as their son, and all the cows to have Krishna as a calf. And he served them with so much devotion and love, uh, each one of these Brijavasis. So Maharaj Sukadev Goswami, just to think about that, he was overwhelmed by Krishna's doing that, making that arrangement. And then there was another story that involves Lord Brahma also, that it was, Krishna in Dwarka. This is narrated in the Brihad Bhagavatam that, you know, Krishna, when he heard about, because remember, he sent Uddhava and he sent Balaram. Balaram also went to Vrindavan to visit Vrindavan after many, many years. And then when Balaram was narrating the state of the Brijavasis, how they can hardly live, they were in such a stage of suffering in separation from Krishna, that there was attempts to keep Krishna not to hear this. But when Krishna heard that, he became so overwhelmed by by these feelings of separation that he almost like his vital signs were gone. And seeing Krishna in that stage, Balaram also collapsed. And then now everybody around, all the Yadus, all the queens, they were very much concerned. And then there was this trying to cry. There was this whole thing, that big drama coming from the castles or from the palaces of Krishna. There was so much crying that it reverberated through the city. And then the citizens became worried. So there was all this, what is happening to Krishna? And the distress was so great that Lord Brahma became aware, and he came to see personally. And when he came to see, because remember, and this was, Brahma already learned his lesson during the Brahma Mimohan Lila, and he witnessed that part of Krishna relationship with the Brijavasis. So, but when he saw Krishna in this stage in Dwarka, he was also extremely concerned. And then he started to cry because he realized, Krishna, here's the supreme personality of Godhead, the creator, the maintainer, the annihilator of the whole cosmic creation. He is in this position of distress because of the love and devotion and the concern that he has for his devotees. So he doesn't have to do that, but he has it. It's a quality. It's a quality that assures you that Krishna is extremely concerned about his devotees. So much that he basically suffers in separation from his devotees. Here is Anandamaya Vyasat. He is bliss, the personification of bliss. but he's suffering. So Lord Brahma is starting to cry, and everybody's starting to cry. Garuda was also uh, fainted. It was a big, big distress to see Krishna in that position. And then uh, Lord Brahma comes to his senses and start to think. He's so intelligent, and he comes to think, what can be done? And then from his heart came this understanding. Well, Vishwakarma, when he built the city of Dwarka, he built a replica of Vrindavan. You know, it's a replica of Vrindavan that is so cleverly and perfectly done that that all the details are there. He's called it Nava Vrindavan, New Vrindavan, and then, but the only thing that Vishwakarma didn't have the skill to do was to create Brijavas, to create the replicas or of the Brijavasis like Nanda Maharaj, Jashoda, and Shrimati Radharani. He couldn't do that, but he could create um, like non-moving, not alive replicas. Something like what's the name of the Madame Trudeau wax um, palace in London, no? That there's these perfect replicas with wax of historical personalities. So you go there and you see, well, Vishwakarma was a supreme Madame Trudeau replica. So he have these perfect replicas of the Brijavasis. And he have also, Dwarkavasis playing the part of cowherd people. So Lord Brahma say, if you take Krishna and Balaram to there, and and he can probably be relieved of this distress. So he started to wake up Garuda and saying, Garuda, wake up, Garuda. So to make sure you take Krishna and Balaram to there. And very important, none of the queens, none of the Yadus should go there. Only Rohini and Balaram. Because there were Brijavasis. Rohini, Mother Rohini was there in Vrindavan, and Balaram. So the only ones who can accompany Krishna is Balaram and Rohini. So Garuda wakes up and then very carefully takes them without disturbing, without waking them up, both Krishna and Balaram, and takes them to Nava Vrindavan. And Balaram wakes up, and because he is the original spiritual master, immediately he can understand what's going on and what is the purpose of this. So when they're there, then Balaram starts to wake up Krishna. And Krishna wakes up and then start to tell Mother Yashoda, the replica of Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, how he had these dreams of being in this big city and being, like a king and things like that. But, and Balaram makes sure to put a flute, so he was relieved of his distress by experiencing again the the atmosphere of Vrindavan. So the story that the part of this story that is highlight is Lord Brahma recognizing this greatest quality of Krishna, that how much he loved, how much he's concerned, and how much he reciprocates and he serves his devotees with so much love and devotion. And that is something that when we hear about that and when we start to understand the depth of that, and when we start to appreciate how much Krishna is doing for each one of us, when we start to understand that, then we can really begin to advance in understanding this divine reality or this divine tattva, and we can become qualified to go back home, back to God. Any comments or questions?
It's not working. Oh. Thank you for class, Prabhuji. The subject matter is so important, um, to try to reciprocate with Krishna's love for us. I was wondering if you could maybe say something about how the thought came to me about how when Krishna says he's the seed-giving father of all living entities, because it's one thing to think of oneself as a devotee of Krishna. Like what does that mean? But when Krishna says, I'm the seed giving father of all living entities, and to think that this is our mother and father, I was just wondering if you could say anything with the same context, because as you were speaking, I was just thinking, as a conception of a devotee, that doesn't really attract me personally. But when I think of Krishna as my father and Radharani as my mother, and then I think of all the living people as my brothers and sisters, that's where compassion comes to me as a person, where I can really kind of get it a little bit. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, if I'm to say something, you don't separate the two. That being the son of being children of Krishna means being the children are the servants, of the parents. The mood is that my father protects me, maintains me. So we usually pray to Krishna, uh, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshaman, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Padimam. So you're my protector, you're my maintainer. It's like a father. So, and then what's my relationship as a son? Is I serve you. So we're devotees of our Supreme Father. So you don't separate the things. It just, it makes the the great beauty of how we have received this path of devotional service is like it's a person it's a path. It's not impersonal. It's a personal path. And when there's personal means relationship, and relationship means love, trust, and all that. So it is quite something. I was Last Tuesday. I started a class of Bhagavad Gita for yoga trainees, people who are training to be yoga teachers. And as I'm presenting, um, the teacher, their teacher was, because I'm, presenting the Bhagavad Gita. I'm presenting the premise of the Bhagavad Gita is about the personality of Godhead. The title is Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God. So we're talking about God. Now he interlude, in one, but well, if you all feel comfortable, the students, to call it some other name like divine or energy or things like that. And I say, well, you can, it's up to you how you take it. But if we're going to study the Bhagavad Gita, we have to take it from the, besides faith, besides religion, the factual fact is the Bhagavad Gita is about God, and the relationship that we have with that. And the process of yoga is how to link with that supreme being. So we're talking about that. So you can choose how to, you know, approach it or see it. But this is the fact. This is what it is. That's why Srila Prabhupada calls it the Bhagavad Gita as it is. You don't need to interpret anything. You don't need to say, oh, what Krishna means. This, it's not the person Krishna, is the impersonal Krishna, whatever. So you don't separate. We are servants. That's our relationship, and Krishna is our supreme father, our maintainer, our protector, like that. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. As you were speaking, I was just realizing because some people, like myself personally, I've never had a dad or in the household to serve or to have that conception. So it's kind of hard to imagine it. But it's thank you for that answer.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna. I have one of my questions was so I know that Krishna can punish demons, right? Uh, but what about devotees? Has ever Krishna punished any devotees?
Well, it's different type of punishment. You know, he does. I mean, just recently, I'm listening to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then Lord Chaitanya. There's several instances in which he punished, devotees. There was the case of this the this Krishna Das who went with him to South India, and he became bewildered by some band of really low class people, and Lord Chaitanya have to go and rescue him, and then he continued to the rest of the pilgrimage. And when he got back to Jagannath Puri, he told Lord Nityananda, who recommended this Krishna Das as a servant, he said, "You take this Krishna Das. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his face anymore." I mean, that Krishna Das was finished, devastated. And by the kindness of the devotees, then eh, he was given very, very nice service to inform the people, the Mother Sachi and all the inhabitants of Navadvip about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So then, did he saw Lord Chaitanya again? He didn't say. He didn't say, at least till now. But I haven't heard anything. But the fact is that the way the Lord deals with us, and in times, we see we are devotees, even, you know, many of us who are aspiring or trying to become, steady devotees. Sometimes we find ourselves in a difficult situation. Sometimes our um, deceit, some cheating thing or some deceitful thing gets exposed, and we become chastised. So, but Krishna does that for each one of us, so we can overcome that. You see what happened to Lord Brahma in that Brahma Vimohan Lila. Krishna, he say these beautiful prayers, and Krishna, like basically stood there hearing, but didn't show any sign of acceptance or like that. And Lord Brahma was mortified. But Lord Brahma understood, took that his prayers were so deep, and he acted on his prayer. And those prayers are very famous for us devotees who get punished by Krishna. Tatenu kampan sushushuk shamanina. That we take whatever Krishna, whatever punishment is there, or whatever obstacle we have to go through, we take that with gratitude, we tolerate it, accept it, and become fully absorbed with body, mind, and words in glorifying and hearing about the glorious pastimes of Krishna. So this whole thing about absorbing yourself in Krishna Lila. So you accept whatever we have to do with the result of our mistakes. We accept whatever Krishna has, arranged for us as a result of our mistakes. And we tolerate that with gratitude, and we make sure that we absorb ourselves into it. So yeah, it's part of the program. It's part of the program, and we should, look for it too. I'm going to stop here because it's a little late, but thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.